how are you? And our topic today
Great.
involving offshoring. And I have had some conversations about it, but I know that there has to be an interesting thing. What is our topic today?
Yeah, I want to talk something that some of my non-technical founders may not know about is sometimes the tyranny of offshoring, especially when you're early in that product stage development. Most people think in college, hey, let's go offshore all our most important intellectual property and things and hope for the best. Well, here to tell you, even off of my personal experiences, some common pitfalls you want to avoid. So that's what I want to talk about today is how to avoid some of those pitfalls as it relates to offshoring. And if you are going to do it, what are some of those things that should consider as you're making those business decisions?
Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, so all of this kind of came about as I was thinking about my earliest journey for my first company, Prisma. And when we first started out, we knew we needed to build out a web application. And as a steely-eyed college student, I really didn't know how to build a web app. I knew the technology, how to put it together, but building the code day in and day out, I knew I needed a team, right? So me and our other co-founders, we made sure we put together our initial funding and made sure our initial product specifications were built out. And then we started to engage with this firm out of Asian country. I won't throw them under the bus, but you get the idea. And the idea was, hey, it's good. This is going to get us to market faster. This is going to ultimately make it to where we can save costs. And in reality, what ended up happening was we ended up spending more money on rework. We didn't get quite exactly the quality that we wanted. And we had tons of communication issues with the vendor that we offshored to. So that was our first lesson into offshoring when we first started our initial MVP. And it was one of our good technical advisors that sat us down and helped us find good local developers to actually help put together the skeleton and then figure out which pieces to offshore first. So here's the fallacy number one, non-technical founders. Don't outsource your entire product development cycles to these firms. You are in control of the intellectual property. Why would you go outsource it to someone else? Right? And then expect for it to be as polished or as great as expectations as you would think. That just doesn't happen. So that's where one of the biggest problems came in. Second is costs, right? You have this misconception that, oh, if I offshore, I'm going to save costs as I would going somewhere here in America. And the truth of the matter is, what tends to happen is communication issues. They have issues in their own side of town, and you find yourself redoing work that you otherwise wouldn't have spent money on, and so that just balloons up the costs. So when you think about offshoring, you only want to offshore only the components that aren't super critical. You don't want to offshore elements that require fine attention to detail or something that is interacting with customers or any of those sort of pieces. So uh that was that was the biggest lesson for me, was understanding, yeah, there can be too many chefs in the kitchen, but you need to be the main chef, and they just need to be your little helpers as it relates to small bits of the recipe. Don't give them the whole cake, if you
And
will.
especially the intellectual property of the cake.
Right. That was another concern for us as well too. As an early firm, we didn't really know how to protect our intellectual properties overseas. So it was also equally important to, make sure that your security keys are belong to you. If you set up an account, you set it up in your name. Don't let the offshoring account set it up and then hold you hostage. Those situations protect your house, right? Make sure that you don't have these security issues, and they could not have me might not have the same IT security standards over there. So if something leaks, you're going to be in trouble.
And
And
that's not good.
yeah, not good at all. um, one I'll leave you with one horror story, okay? Uh, I was working with another digital marketing firm, and they started hiring some, um, I guess, account managers from the Philippines. And not to get this to the Philippines, but I guess these particular set of actors got into these accounts and ultimately started locking out the main stakeholders out of those accounts. And there was a ransom notice on each of those a digital marketing clients' websites, and it basically said you got to give us like $5,000. And the owner called me in the biggest tizzy. He was just like, "Yo, I'm just like freaking out. I don't know what to do. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, not only do you have an IT security problem, now you almost got you a uh, legal issue now, because he also have client credit card information and their clients' credit card information. So you see where this compounds, and that IT security is just like such a big aspect. So, if you're going with an outside vendor, take your time and evaluate and make sure they got good security standards, they're a trusted firm, and yeah, evaluate internal options first if you must offshore. So
All right. Best place to go is
yeah, so you can catch us in more product development insights and tips at uxbright.com. Check us out on LinkedIn, and we're also on Substack.
all
So
right.
check us out for more podcasts and blogs.
All right. That was a special simulcast Neil Haley Show.